Well, good morning, guys. We do have a bit of an update to share with you guys in regards to today's severe weather event across portions of the region here. We do have our latest SPC outlook here that now encompasses an enhanced risk more so for a large portion here. Most Indiana, West Ohio, and parts of down in Kentucky, our viewing area now in this enhanced risk for severe weather. On a scale of 5, this is level 3 out of 5, so it's getting up there on the scale of severity here. Now, today's hazards in particular could be interesting to watch here if you guys live within this risk area, specifically in the orange, but also the yellow area in specific here. So, our concern today is for a few things. And number one, surprisingly, is tornadoes. All right. And this is what we call an enhanced, or should I say, tornado driven enhanced risk, which basically means the SPC upgraded the tornado risk here to a 10% risk in yellow there. And that 10% risk is what's driving this enhanced risk to be enhanced. All right. So that is the technically leading hazard today. It encompasses most of the region. Okay, the only areas not in a some type of tornado risk today is going to be northern Michigan, northern Wisconsin, and western Illinois. Everybody else is in some sort of tornadic risk today. Highest in yellow, second highest in brownish red color there, and then lower threat there in green up into Wisconsin, Michigan, and then northeast Ohio, as well as northern Illinois. All right. Secondary threat here, I do believe would be more so of a concern, would be large hail that may exceed 2 inches in diameter here. Okay. So that black hatched box area is where we're most concerned for a couple of tornadoes being, or not tornadoes, but a couple of hailstones that could reach up towards that 2 inch diameter. We're talking hen egg or bigger. Okay. That encompasses most Indiana, most of Ohio, East Ohio getting out of that, but still in a hail threat regardless. And also that the hatched hail there is brushing up into South Michigan there as well. So that's going to be a concern today as well. Overall, if you're in a risk area, colored area here, brownish red or yellow, you guys do have a hail threat. It just looks to be larger within the yellow and specifically in the black hatched yellow area. Okay. Third and final would be damaging winds here. We're not overly more so concerned for damaging winds. I do think it's a decent threat today, but no hatched area. Winds up to 60, perhaps 65, 70 in spots, but I think 60 is a good blanket statement here of our expectation here for damaging winds across the region. Highest again, once again, in the slight risk and also enhanced risk areas in yellow, but still a risk up toward the brownish red color up in Michigan, up there in Wisconsin, West Illinois, on northeast Ohio getting in on that risk. So technically, all hazards are possible today. Strong tornadoes would be a possibility in this yellow hatched area. I don't want to say that lightly, but that's the case we have today. Looking at the parameter spaces, wouldn't be shocked to see a few tornadoes, EF2 plus status. All right. Not trying to scare people here. We're just communicating the risks today. So don't be scared. Be prepared. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings throughout the day. Make sure you guys have access to shelter, whether it's a basement. Make sure your shelters are ready, like into your closet. Just be on the alert. There's no reason to panic yet. If you guys go under a warning, take your precautions. You'll be fine. All right. Looking at the model, nothing has changed in regards to overall thinking. We do have that line of storms out to our west we're watching right now on live radar. This is a model. Okay, I want to make that clear. This is a model. We are looking at live radar, though. I'm not going to pull that in for this, but live radar does show that line of storms off to our west here. It's pushing our way. What happens behind it matters. I do see a few areas peeking out in the sunshine ahead of this line. It doesn't matter yet. What happens behind this line is what's going to matter. So this is going to move into the area here. It's in Illinois, about to hit Indiana currently. It's going to push through Indiana, push through Wisconsin, push through Michigan, push through Ohio by 3 or so, 3 or 4 p.m. We turn attention to these clusters and storms that develop here in Illinois and parts of Northwest Indiana. Those are going to be the main show here. They're going to develop. They're going to move east, northeast. And that is going to be the main concern here across the state of Indiana, primarily up into South Michigan, moving in toward Western Ohio. This is at 6 p.m. Here is 7 p.m. Here's 8 p.m. And then here is 9 p.m. Here's 10. And here's 11. They should be dying and weakening by the time sunset gets to Ohio there. So roughly time frame here is still 2 p.m. in the western part of the region, 10 p.m. in the eastern part of the region. After 10 p.m., these storms should be on a weakening trend there. So just keep that in mind if you guys live out ahead, further east, like so we'll say from Cleveland to Columbus to like Youngstown, that general area. That will be probably weakening by the time it gets to you, but still isolated severe weather is possible with all hazards. But it's just highest risk off into your western area back here where they first develop here across eastern Illinois, western Indiana, southern Michigan, and then especially here in this orange enhanced risk area needs to be on highest alert. But risk nonetheless if you live in a dark green, yellow, or orange color contour today. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But again, once again, watching what happens behind this initial line, because we do have the possibility here with this line moving through, it could bring cloud cover, it could stabilize the atmosphere here. All right. So we're watching that extremely closely. We could have it go both ways where we see that threat potentially minimize or reduce just because cloud cover, it could take some moisture out with it. Like there's a lot of things that can happen with that initial line. So we're going to watch that close. It's going to determine the overall severity, especially further north across northern Indiana, South Michigan. But also same holds true there further south. But further south does have a better chance to destabilize because it's better moisture and stuff is shown to be down there quicker. So further north you go, more uncertainty exists. All right. Main time frame again, 2 p.m. over to 10 p.m. All hazards are possible. Perhaps strong tornadoes within the enhanced orange risk area here. Large hail, definitely a possibility. Some could be upwards of hen egg size. And then also the possibility of damaging winds here. So with that being said, that's all I have to share with you guys here. Going to the comment section here real quick. Akron, can you tell me what level we are in today? Akron, you are going to be in level 2 out of 5. So your slight risk yellow area. Will you be live here at MSC? Both MSC and GLSCN will be live. We have chasers positioned in South Michigan, as well as Northern Indiana and Northwest Ohio. So we're going to have coverage from those areas later on today. We do expect that. There's potential, though, we may shift away from MSC if the threat stays south of the border, which is a possibility. Right now, we think that it will be just over the border. So we do plan there to be live for both pages. I'm not seeing that right now, Martin. I think it's a good place right now. No problem, Becca. I see a lot of you guys asking your questions for your cities here, so I'll make this extremely simple. If you live in Indiana anywhere, okay? If you live in Indiana anywhere, you are in a risk today for severe weather. Some of those tornadoes that we could expect could be on the stronger side. Some of the hail could be on the larger side, talking golf balls or larger, okay? Damaging winds also a threat. The threat across Indiana is pretty much equal, but it is highest in the central and eastern part of the state. So if you're over by, we'll say, Gary, all the way down to Vincennes, you guys would be in the level 2 risk where it's not as high, but still is decent threat. Okay. Anywhere else in Indiana, you guys are in the orange enhanced risk area, would be concerned for strong tornadoes, large hail up to golf ball size or larger, and damaging winds as well. Okay. That's all of Indiana. Ohio, West Ohio. Okay. Talking areas like Van Wert, Defiance, Lima, Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, Salina, those general areas, all the way over to the Columbus area. You guys are in the level 3 risk. Strong tornadoes possible. Golf ball size hail or larger possible. Damaging winds up to 60, 65 miles an hour also possible. Okay. The entire state of Ohio is in a risk today for all hazards. It is highest the further west you go towards Indiana. All right. Hopefully that answers your guys' questions here. But if you live anywhere in Indiana today and anywhere in Ohio, you are all, doesn't matter where you are in the state, you are all under a risk. It's just centered over the orange risk here in most of Indiana, more so east central Indiana, and then also west, we want to say west central Ohio as well. All right. With that being said, though, we have to get ready for the day here. So we're going to hop off here fairly quickly. We have a lot to do and a lot to prep for. So watch for our live streams later. We'll be storm chasing and covering radar here for that general vicinity. Particularly South Michigan, North Indiana, Northwest Ohio would be the center point of our coverage today, just because we have our chasers there. But overall, though, this is a risk nonetheless for the basically the entire region, minus northern Michigan here, as well as parts of northern Wisconsin. Otherwise, the entire region here is in a risk area today. What's up, Chris? Do you think there'll be a shift in risks? I don't think we're going to see much in the way of shifting at this point. I think it's pretty much locked in here. We do have one more SPC update at 12:30. Again, one at 4 o'clock, but by 4 o'clock, the thing is ongoing. So don't expect too much at the 4 o'clock update. We could see a change or two at the 12:30 p.m. update here in 3 hours. We'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't expect there to be too much in the way of significant changes, though. Christine, over there for you, probably closer to that 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame for you. Probably going to be closer to 6 or 7 if I had to guess. Maybe a bit later, depending on how these storms travel and move. But just center your attention more so. We'll say around 6 p.m. Maybe before, maybe a bit after. All right. All right, we're going to hop off here, guys. So we have a lot to do today. We'll have our coverage, as always, later on this evening. With that being said, you guys stay safe. Watch for updates from us and also the SPC and your local NWS guidance, offices, and forecasting. So with that being said, stay tuned to the pages. We'll be having updates. You guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe. And remember, don't be scared. Be prepared. Have ways to receive warnings. If you do go under a warning, be inside in your safe place. You'll be just fine. All right.